Today we're going to plant up one of our aquapot planters. The reason why we like aquapots is because we only have to water them about every 5 to 7 days, depending on the plants that we put into them. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and as we have shown you for the past, I think probably 4 years or so, we've carried these aquapot planters, and we really love them. We love that we can not have to be at the greenhouse all day watering and then go home and water, because these aquapots only need to be filled, as I mentioned, about every 5 to 7 days, depending on the plant varieties you put in them. So obviously earlier on in the season, your plants aren't going to require as much water as your plants are going to require later on in the season, when they've had more time to grow, there's more establishment going on, more roots going on, and plants get, later on in the season they get hotter because it's hotter outside. So then they do take up a little bit more water. But even if I can go 3 to 5 days without having to water, that's far better than having to be out filling and watering my plants every single day. So today we're going to be planting up four new plant varieties into these aquapots. And actually, these are plant varieties we've never grown before. It's a new series of plants. And they are Petchoas, which is a cross between petunias and calibrachoas. They're also called a SuperCal, Supertunia calibrachoa. The thing we like about these SuperCals is there is such a huge range of color in them. Last year, a couple customers had called and said, "You carry these SuperCals?" And at that time, I was not sure what they were talking about. So when we were out doing our garden tours throughout the summer last year, we were at Ball Horticulture, and they had a huge display of all these beautiful SuperCal Supertunias. And when I saw them in their displays and saw just how beautiful they were, how well they had done, this was, I think, mid-August or so that we were there, and the plants, they looked just as fresh as I'm sure they did when they were planted earlier on in the season. Another thing to point out with the SuperCal Supertunias is they're great for those of you in the south. So they have they're great for humid areas, hot areas, and even after it rains, the flowers, they keep their shape. They stay nice and upward. So a lot of time, other petunias, after it rains, they kind of get flat. They need to have the sun. They need to freshen up again. But these SuperCals, they stay looking really nice even after a rain. So let's go ahead and take a look at which of the color varieties Rod and I chose for our planters. These planters go on either side of our front porch. So as you're walking into our house, we have 2 of the aquapots there. And, we did a video talking about how we were doing the pastels with new varieties for 2026. I think you're going to find that this is more our color palette with the nice bright colors. So let's go ahead and see what we're planting today. In addition to the SuperCals, we also are putting an Angelonia in this planter. So this is also a new plant from Ball. It is the Guardian Angel series, and it's called Berry Sparkler. Beautiful pink and purple colorations going on. So this is going to be the thriller in our container. As you know, Rod likes to pack them nice and tight, and we do that because we want instant gratification, to be honest, and we want them to look fuller, faster. So he's putting 2 of the Guardian Angel, Angelonia, in the back. These will get 16 to 18 inches tall, and they like to be grown in full sun areas. So this is going to be a planter that is westward facing, so it's going to get plenty of sun later on in the afternoon. Usually, actually, I should say from probably about noon until sundown. So definitely these are going to be planters that are going to be cooking out in that summer sun. So the next plant we're doing is, as mentioned, a SuperCal. So this is going to add a really bright splash of color in there. Look at that beautiful sunshine yellow bloom. This is the Premium Yellow Sun. So SuperCals get 14 to 24 inches tall and wide, creating just a nice mounding, trailing look, not only for in containers, but also for in landscape plantings. One thing I have noticed with these SuperCals is that they have really very large flowers. So a little bit larger than some of the other petunias that we carry, and which was kind of surprising to me because with having that calibrachoa in them as well, you'd think they would be a little bit smaller flowers, but no, definitely that's not the case. These are nice, really bright, big flowers. So we've got kind of that pink and purple for our thriller. We've got yellow, And the next one, look at that beauty. This is the SuperCal Premium Rose Pink. So as we were walking through the greenhouse selecting what plants we wanted to put in, as soon as I saw this beautiful rose pink, I knew that it had to go in this planter. So this is just going to be such a bright pop of color. And for those of you who know me, you know these are Heidi colors for sure. And Rod would say, yeah, they're Rod colors as well. So here's another one. We're putting 2 of these in as well. So 2 of the yellow and 2 of the pink. And this is just going to be really packed full of beautiful summer color. Now the last plant we're putting in this container, because you can see there is a little space for more plants to be added, it is going to be a Calibrachoa. So this Calibrachoa is part of the Bumblebee series. And we have the orange, we have purple, and we have pink. So let's see those flowers, Rod. Look at those beautiful star-shaped blooms. Nice big Calibrachoa flowers. So Bumblebee blue. And this too is a great filler spiller for this container combination. So when we put this thought process together, obviously we knew we wanted to have something that was going to be tall and upright, kind of that nice focal point for the container. And then we wanted to have plants that would kind of fill in and spill over. So this is going to do just exactly what we're looking for. Now, as I'm seeing what we have going here, there's one thing that I think we could add into this mix yet, and I'll have to see what Rod thinks. But Dichondra Silver Falls, I think, would be really pretty, because that would just kind of trail over the front of the pot, and the silver would look so pretty. So just as I said it, look at there, off he goes. I say the word and he's off to get it. So he'll be back in just a minute and we'll show you that Silver Falls. What a great guy. Here he comes with handfuls of Silver Falls. So we're planting up 2 planters, so we're putting 2 in each of them. And the reason I like Silver Falls is it's a nice accent plant, just nice and airy. I like how it trails over the front of a pot. And just, it goes well with every color imaginable. So now that I kind of threw this monkey wrench at him a little bit, he's got to shift the plants around a little bit and make little pockets for this Dichondra Silver Falls to go into. It's not a lot, but it's a lot of awesome. Look at that. See what I mean? It's not a lot there, but what it does when you add it into these mixes is just breathtaking. Look at that. You can see how beautiful that is already up against that cobalt blue of the pot. And that's really, once it gets growing, it's just going to head downward. So it's not going to do a whole lot of mingling in the pot itself. It's going to go over, drape over, and just be really stunning. Look at that. By the end of the summer, that Silver Falls is going to be all the way to the bottom of the pot. So we'll just kind of watch as it grows. We may need to trim it at one point if we want. But personally, I do like the look of when it trails all the way to the ground. Oh, that is breathtaking. That silver with that pink and that purple. And then once the Angelonia pokes up, it's going to be that pink and purple. I think this is going to be a really cool combination this year. Oh yeah, and I forgot that little splash of yellow. Such a great mix of flowers. So this is kind of a trial for us. As I mentioned, we've never grown these SuperCals before. So this will be interesting to see how they do here in West Michigan. I have nothing but high hopes for them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting these in a very prominent place in our landscape. So we'll be sure to update you as this container continues to fill out and put on more color and just look beautiful for this summer. If you have any questions or comments on any of these beautiful plants that we used in today's planter, please feel free to leave them below in the description. And if you think, man, I gotta have these plants for my garden, head on over to our website, gardencrossings.com, and all of these beauties can be delivered directly to your door. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.